What is up, Snarf Gang? I don't know if you guys remembered this, but I said I was reading the New Warriors Omnibus, Volume 1, and I just finished it the other day, so this is my review on it. And let me just say, I really liked this series, like, a lot. Probably one of my top 3, maybe 2 Marvel stories that I've read so far. It's crazy good. If you like the new Teen Titans, then you'll definitely like this because I love the new Teen Titans, and I think I like this more because there's just the drama that's in the new Teen Titans is just amped up in this, and it's also very more like human almost. There's less supernatural aspects in this story. So here on the front cover we have our main characters: Marvel Boy, Firestar, Namora, Night Thrasher, Nova, and Speedball. My favorite characters are Night Thrasher and Speedball. Get your hands up!
Is that Officer Skeety Boo from the up-and-coming Space AIDS Cowboy movie?
As a matter of fact, it is. And I'll be confiscating this. That's what you get for getting caught liking a black character. That better not happen again, because I got my eye on you.
My life is so unfair, bro. What am I gonna do with all that stuff now? That joke literally took like almost an hour to set up, so I hope you liked it. Anyway, back to the review. Probably not gonna interrupt it with something like that again, because it's kind of late, and I don't want to spend all night on this. But New Warriors. Also, let me just take the dust jacket off real quick so I can show you the underneath for those of you that like that, because it looks kind of cool. Front we have there. That's the back. For the first if I'm gonna be honest, the New Warriors, the first couple of issues are kind of boring. It does take a little bit to pick up. I'd say like around here, that's when it starts picking up. So you do gotta read a little bit, but there's a lot of freaking plot points going on. Major spoilers in this video, just warning. So basically how this New Warriors thing starts is these random ragtag motley crew of heroes is like kind of half-assedly jumbled together into a team. But trust me, it gets so much better. It may seem kind of like lazily put together in the beginning, because it is, but it gets so much better. So basically, Night Thrasher is the team leader, and he, along with this guy Terry, basically fund the New Warriors organization. So Night Thrasher actually has a past where he used to go around stopping gangs with these two siblings that both also had powers, kind of unassociated with any other group. And he ended up accidentally crippling one of the siblings, and he thought he killed her in a standoff with like a cop or something. And it kind of like pushes him to use like less lethal methods of like stopping crime and stuff. So that's like sort of the first arc that he has to work with. And Night Thrasher's always been like the most violent one in the group. And he's also the only one that doesn't have powers. He's kind of like Batman because he just uses a bunch of gadgets and shit. And the only thing I find a little bit stupid about Night Thrasher is that he uses a skateboard. Like, he's supposed to be like the edgy, cool one, but he uses a skateboard to fight sometimes, which is really dumb. But he doesn't use it that often.
Yo, it's Snarf in the editing room, which is basically just my room. But I forgot to mention everyone's powers, which I think you guys would want to know. So basically, Marvel Boy is a telekinetic. Not like he can read people's minds, but like he can move stuff with his mind, including himself, and make shields and whatnot. That's basically his power. Nova can fly, and he has super strength. He's like low tier invulnerability also, I think. Firestar, I think that was her name. She can kind of make microwave blasts, which is basically just like heat blasts, but it does, the fact that it's a microwave blast is important because she can use it to sort of fuck up machines and shit, like if robots are attacking or whatever. Namora can breathe underwater, which is kind of dumb, but she also has super strength and she can fly with these little wings on her ankles, which is also kind of dumb. But her character is actually cool. Something that I think is weird about Marvel characters sometimes is like their concept is like really stupid, but they're like really well written. So, I mean, you like the character, but you can't tell people you like the character because they're going to be like, you like the bitch with wings on it or her ankles and that can breathe underwater. That's dumb as hell, but whatever. And Night Thrasher obviously doesn't have any powers. I already said that. But Speedball, last but not least, he can create a field of like kinetic energy around him that deflects all kinetic energy. Like you can't harm him. You shoot a bullet at him, the bullet will bounce back at the exact same speed. If a train hits him, he'll shoot off into the air at the same speed of the train. Stuff like that. So that's basically everyone's powers.
The first couple arcs of the whole first volume are sort of about taking down more minor villains. Like there's this robot that's created and sent after them to come kill them, and there are these scientists that are working on mutants that powers kind of like, well, some of them kind of counter theirs, but they're mainly just like a group versus group fight that they set up. There's this one guy that like wants to destroy this rocket that's about to get shot off into space because he had some sort of connection to like them dumping the waste in the space radioactively, like killed his family or something. They end up convincing him to be good. And then like these are all interesting plot points, but they're kind of just like, 6.5, 7 out of 10 stories until it starts getting really good. Whenever Speedball's mom goes missing on a missions trip in South America and they have to go rescue her from a terrorist organization. It's pretty epic because something I'll say is they're not really afraid to get rid of main characters for a while or completely kill them off, which I like. There's one part in the series later on, which, by the way, huge spoiler, but Terry, the guy that raises Night Thrasher after his parents died, he shoots himself because like the Taylor Foundation ends up having like internal corruption and he's trying to keep from giving away that information. Some other stuff happens where like Night Thrasher stops Punisher from like killing this priest that used to serve in Vietnam and like almost killed this kid. Punisher also shows up. I feel like there's this one arc in the middle though where they kind of did a collab with the X-Men and they were taking down these villains where there was this one cyborg suit villain, sort of generic suit villain, and they were taking around this mutant named Piecemeal, really stupid name by the way, and he basically had the ability to absorb a certain kind of energy around the place, and it's honestly pretty boring, to be honest. That was the most boring part of the thing to read through, was the X-Men collaboration, because first off, like the artist's hidden fetish was clearly like bro wasn't even trying to hide that shit. Someone definitely had an inflation fetish whenever they drew this shit, because like I'm gonna show some panels. It looks gross. And you just have to watch this kid become like so morbidly obese to like an inhumanly possible extent, while this cyborg's forcing him to absorb energy that he's going to use for some shit, which we don't even know, because I think it's established in the X-Men stuff before the New Warriors come in, so I don't even know why they're trying to do that. But they stop him, and it turns out that like the kid was actually the cyborg's son, because it was actually just a suit and it was his mom inside, and he ended up getting fused with this other kid and destroying reality, but they ended up convincing him to kill himself or something. It was actually insane. The fact that I actually forgot that happened until just now. The fact that the way they won was convincing him to kill himself is actually such a crazy plot point. There's another one where this ancient Egyptian, whatever the female word for pharaoh is, goes back in time sort of and changes up the timeline, and sort of the racial tensions in America have been flipped. It's like black people in power at the time and white people are the inferior race, well, considered the inferior race. And basically Nova is a part of the Avengers in that world, and the mutants are being hunted down by the Avengers, and Nova ends up having to like betray the Avengers in order to because he gets visited by this spirit that tells him to basically seek out the real truth because this timeline's all fucked up. The Egyptian lady was doing it because she wanted to get back with like her ancient love. He was like immortal, but he was tired of living, but she kind of was salty about that, so she kind of wanted to go back in time. Okay, listen, I'm just gonna stop myself here because look at this thing. There are a lot of plot points. I'm not gonna talk about every single one, but the thing you do need to know is that the best thing about this is, ironically, the drama. I mean, the drama between the characters is crazy. There's major spoilers, but this is basically like the main conflict that happens with each character. Not every character gets like a super big moment to shine. Specifically, Nova and Namora don't get as much of a drama thing in this, but Marvel Boy and Firestar end up getting into a relationship in this, and Marvel Boy's dad abuses him, and he accidentally kills him one time when he's defending himself, and he ends up having to go to prison for like 2 years because it wasn't self-defense, but he could have done it without killing him, which was revealed in court. So that's a pretty big plot point. Robbie, which is Speedball, he has to save his mom from South America, obviously, but his parents are also getting a divorce by the end of this, which is crazy. Night Thrasher's got a whole bunch of fucked up shit going on with him. Not only did he cripple one of his best friends, but the brother of the girl that he crippled tries to murder him later on. And then he finds out that Terry, who was the guy that raised him after his parents died, is the one who killed his parents because of some ancient pact he made with this Asian lady whenever he was in Vietnam. And it's a crazy plot point. It's absolutely insane. And it turns out that he is like secretly tied to this like ancient pact where him and the New Warriors are basically going to be sucked into this temple to use it as a power source to power the generations of this like ancient mutant family to rule the world. It's crazy. It's really hard to explain some of these plot points because unless I reread it, it'd be kind of hard to remember some of them. And I literally just finished reading this thing, and I've been reading it on and off for like a few months. So not the details for the earlier parts aren't the freshest in my mind, but that's basically the gist of it for every character. I guess the biggest arc that Nova and Namora had was that Nova had to go through his future thing where he had betrayed the Avengers, but that was technically in an alternate timeline, so it kind of didn't really happen. Also, Namora, her biggest thing was like she really wanted to murder this one guy, and then she ended up deciding not to do it. Obviously, you know, it's Marvel thing. Their big thing's always like, killing is wrong because everyone's redeemable, which dumbest shit I've ever heard. Like, seriously, if I had superpowers, there are so many people that I would kill. Not that I have like a list of people I would kill, but like if I had superpowers and I was out patrolling the streets and I saw like a rapist or something, I'd kill him. Like, I mean, maybe if he gave up immediately after seeing me, then I wouldn't. Or if he like got knocked out really fast, but like, if like I don't care about your life if you're doing some fucked up shit or like a murder or something I never really liked. But that's what I kind of like this, because Night Thrasher's not really like that. He has tried to kill people a few times. He's very morally flexible when it comes to accomplishing his goals, which I both like. I understand the other character's perspective and not. The reason why that's one of the reasons he's my favorite character. The reason why Speedball is my second favorite character, sort of tied for first actually, is because he's a major goofball and I just like goofy characters. Anyway, I would give the New Warriors Omnibus Volume 1 a 9 out of 10. It would be a 10 out of 10, but that X-Men arc was hella boring. Anyway, see ya.